Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kauai County Council Roundup. We are covering March 25th council meeting at the council chambers. We are here at the Huike studio uh, with this update, and we had a.
And this is Chair Rapozo, and
That's
I'm
right.
Vice Chair Kipukai, Kualii. Who's
Yeah.
ready to
Yeah.
go?
Okay. Let's go. Well, we started off. As you know, budget is coming around. We're starting our budget deliberations on Thursday. So today we had the two budget bills as well as the real property tax resolution come through. And our only purpose today was to move that off into public hearings. So that was taken care of in the beginning of the agenda. So you'll hear more from us as we get through the budget deliberation starting on Thursday. We did have a interesting request. Interesting because we all know about that beautiful parakeet that we have running around, that are flying around, the little green rose ring parakeets. They're really beautiful
Should be in a
birds.
cage in somebody's house.
They're beautiful birds. Actually, when I first saw the first one that I saw was I thought it was
Or
like
in the forest in the
parrot.
Amazon.
Yeah, it's beautiful birds, but they are creating havoc for our farmers. They love lychee, they love all our fruit trees. So our Office of Economic Development, working alongside with the Hawaii Department of Agriculture, is trying to eradicate these birds. And so we had a request for an approval to apply and expend up to 300 grand to help end that problem. It is a major problem for our fruit farmers here on Kauai, so I'm happy about that. Anahola, you guys see them I don't see as many now.
I don't see so much in Anahola, but I absolutely see them in Wailua, yeah. Every time I go to Monaco's, all those coconut trees over there, the coconut grove, when the sunset comes and it starts getting dark, they all come by the hundreds to go up into those coconut trees. We see them right out here in front of the county building, too.
Yeah, I don't see them as much as I used to, but yeah, anyway, hopefully we can.
Noise, lots of noise they make, too.
Yeah, I love them. I love them. But then again, I love chickens too, so. We had a request, another request from the prosecutor's office for $104,000, and this is to offset the funding with federal funds for our methamphetamine trafficking and opioid-focused prosecution program. So they fund it's like a half-time funding for salaries and benefits, and these funds will go with the prosecutor's office working with KPD Vice Section and fighting that horrific epidemic that we have going around here on Kauai and throughout the country, really. And we also had another grant request from the prosecutors for federal funds in amount a little over $32,000, and that is for training for the prosecuting attorney's office as well as KPD in their ongoing investigations as well. And then we had a report from our salary commission, and every salary commission meets pretty much throughout the year, and they are required to submit a proposal to the county councils prior to this year to the county councils for approval of the salary rates for all of our elected and appointed officials. Last year's election, the charter was changed, and now the salary commission's resolution is final. It does not come to the council for approval or rejection. So Josh Uehara, the chair of the Salary Commission, along with Ellen Cheng, our chairs and boards and commissions executive, we're here to explain their most recent proposal.
It was a pretty thorough report, actually. They're doing a lot of work, doing all the analysis that's necessary. And I think the important thing now, too, is they're an independent body. I mean, the biggest conflict when the council was approving or not approving the salary resolution was included in all of those upper management positions was also the mayor's position and the council member's position. So I remember some council members trying to take it out from the package because they didn't want to vote on their own raises, but it was like, and then it ended up being all or nothing. I mean, so now, I mean, and they're dealing with inversion, right, which they've talked about for years and haven't really figured out how to meet that. And that inversion is basically when the supervisor ends up making less than the person they're supervising to immediate level below. And they also refer to the fact that the state ledge passed a law that is requiring now that the supervisor not make less than the person immediately under them can make 95%. They have to be higher.
Yeah.
Like that 5% difference.
So this is kind of an interim measure. Basically, what they did was they set up a 3.5% increase across the board while they go back to work to take a look at those inversions, because we have a lot of department heads that are making less than their subordinates, as Mr. Kualii just talked about. So they got to figure out a way how we're going to make it fair and equitable and be in compliance with that state law.
And the
So-
3.5% is just based on the consumer price index, the CPI, or the cost of living adjustment.
Yeah. So
Each year.
that's a hardworking commission, and typically when they submit a resolution to the council, their work ends for that year. In this case, they're going to go right back to work, start working.
And I
on-
thought the chair, Joshua Uehara, in his presentation was very thorough, and I was impressed by him.
Yeah, that we have a great commission. I mean, I think they do a great job. Another small grant of $25,000, and this is really for infrastructure, for an interface, so that we can, our financial payment systems between departments can talk to each other. And then we had
We had the big bills, right? The budget bills, and you had to take it early because it needed to be done before 10 a.m. So you took it out of order. I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of interesting. So just the way the meetings got scheduled, Joe.
Yeah, and just timing, I think, because we are required by law to publish our, the bills for public hearing, and we had a publication deadline of 10 a.m. this morning with the Star Advertiser, so we had to take 2 budget bills and the salary, the property tax rate resolution up front. So there was really no discussion. That just gets it to the public hearing, and then it'll come back to committee. Obviously, like I said earlier, we're starting our budget procedures, proceedings on Thursday, and we'll be at that for a couple of weeks.
And these are like the big all-encompassing bills that has the entire budget. But as we start the budget process, which begins on Thursday, we will go department by department. They will come before us, give us their presentations, and answer questions that we may have,
And yeah, we'll make
We're at our busy time coming right up
Yeah.
in the next few weeks and next few months, actually.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
$45,000, a State of Hawaii Department of Health grant, and this is for us to promote the county's e-waste recycling program. And I think Allison was up to.
She said
shared-
as
and
far
I-
as electronic waste, it's, I think, like 6 days a week. I think she might have said Monday through Saturday at the Puhi Recycling Center. So bring your TVs, old computers, all the electronic waste. But then Councilmember Cowden was asking, because she was mixing up the hazardous waste and electronic waste. But this Saturday in Anahola, they have hazardous waste. So Councilmember Cowden was saying how she had some old batteries that's where you would bring it. And I guess oil and things, other hazardous
chemicals,
stuff.
Anything
Yeah.
you cannot toss in the landfill.
They have it different parts of the island, and it's in Kilauea, I think at Anainaho, yeah.
Yeah, please check out our county website, go
Yeah,
to
it's
solid
all there.
waste, and they have all of the locations and times for your e-waste as well as your hazardous waste. Take advantage of that, it's free, and we want to make sure you get all that stuff out of your homes. As I mentioned, we did the real property tax resolution. At this point, there is no proposals for real property tax rate changes, so it looks like everything will stay status quo for now. And then we did have the bill, the commercial use of park facilities. And we had had this at the council, we had explained this, and where we had some parks or properties that were not zoned for commercial use. This was triggered by the closure of the Princeville Market that was going on out in Princeville. It's a private park, but that park, when it was zoned, did not allow for commercial use. So in order to use it, you would need to get a special use permit, which the planning department felt might be too onerous. So this provides a pathway for these events to be held at parks or county parks or private parks. And that bill was sent over to the planning department, as all of our zoning bills go, and then we got their proposed bill back, and that is what we had on the agenda today. It sounds like deja vu because we went through it once before, but that original bill basically goes away, and this new bill that was amended by the planning department will start all over. So that's going to go to public hearing and come back to committee, and we'll have that discussion and disposition probably within the next couple of months.
Yep, Bill 2951.
Yeah, and I think, there's a lot of misunderstanding or confusion that if this bill passes, anyone can show up at a county park or a county beach or state beach and just pop up a tent and sell their stuff. That's simply not the case. This just removes the requirement for a special use permit on parcels that were not zoned for commercial use. As Councilmember Fern Holland raised the point, the very important point, that if the park or the property is in the special management area, which basically is along the coast, you're still required to get a special management area permit, which takes a lot of time and is very, very expensive. But this was not designed for beach parks. This is for any other property. It really doesn't have to be a park, but if you want to have a lemonade stand, your little kids want to go sell lemonade, you're now able to do it without a special use permit. So,
I mean, ultimately, I think it has to do with, it can start off small and then it gets pretty big. And at what point is it too big because it's taking up too much of a public park that people should be able to use for, recreation and the sort. So it's making sure we have something in writing to regulate when things potentially could get out of control. The one testifier we did have was from Mackay Watch, I think she called the organization, and was talking about how when film companies go and film on the beach, and then they may initially say they're going to film on the beach, and then they get a permit from the LNR, but then in essence they also end up filming in the adjacent park. And so anytime you're using county lands, you should also have the park permit in addition.
And when we had this in the first round, Mr. Kualii brought up a very good point. He spoke a little bit about it a little while ago about the use, the times, and the size of the park that's going to be used. So I think I agree with Mr. Kualii, and as we go through this bill in committee, we're going to make sure that those precautions are set in there so that these parks don't get abused by businesses trying to make money and taking away the public use of these parks, because I think that's very important for everyone, that we have access to our parks and we're not converting all of our parks into craft shows or sunshine markets and so forth. So
size, frequency, and location.
That's
Size, frequency, and location. And if it's a small park in the middle of a subdivision of houses where people use that as their little corner park and everything, you obviously don't want to see it all taken over by commercial activity.
Yeah. So, I think that's something we got to look at is, are we going to set a percentage of the park, whatever. But a lot of stuff to do on that bill, and we're looking forward for it to come back after the public.
Come participate in committee.
Yes.
Send in your testimony.
So anyway, again, today is actually Tuesday. You'll probably see this on Wednesday. But Thursday we start our budget process, so feel free to tune in to our website, www.kauai.gov. Hit the webcast meetings button. Or again, Ho'ike, Channel 53. You can watch all of our proceedings, and we appreciate Ho'ike again for letting us in the studio to do this recap.
Ho'ike.
Until next time.
Hello, Roger.
Hui ho.
Aloha.